waterborne-based paint technology is continuing to change the refinish industry. Current and future legislation will further reduce the use of solvent-based refinish products across North America. PPG is proud to offer the Envirobase high-performance waterborne base coat and has produced this CD-ROM to demonstrate several steps of the application process. This CD-ROM is based on information current as of June 1, 2007. It is not intended to replace recommended training, but was created to provide a review of the different application processes used with waterborne base coat. It provides a complete audio-visual tutorial of the entire waterborne base coat process. The 20-minute instructional presentation can be played continuously or paused and replayed by using the navigation buttons on the left side of the screen. There is also a documentation button which provides printable documents on specific Envirobase high-performance base coat information. Applying the Envirobase high-performance waterborne base coat is very similar to a solvent-based product, which will make the transition process very easy for painters and technicians. The only difference is the application of a simple control coat to provide the same consistency and superior metallic finish as the OE manufacturers. Automotive manufacturers have used waterborne technology for several years because of its low VOC content and advanced performance properties. However, the electrostatic application of waterborne base coat applied at the manufacturer performs differently than in a collision repair center. This animation shows how the metallic flakes do not move once they are applied in production. In the collision repair center, the base coat is not applied electrostatically, and the metallic flakes tend to sink to the bottom on the color coats. But once the color coats have dried, if you apply a light control coat, the flakes remain on top and deliver the same appearance as when it left the factory. Envirobase HP has a comprehensive range of tinters to ensure excellent color match every time for all OEM makes and models. This new advanced base coat was also designed to be easier to use than solvent-based products. The pigment is formulated in an acrylic waterborne latex resin that is suspended in a microgel anti-settle technology. Simply handshake and you are ready to pour. No more mechanical agitation or aggravation. This is just one of the many benefits of why shops are switching from solvent-borne products to PPG's Envirobase HP. The Envirobase HP waterborne base coat is compatible with most of the current PPG cleaners, undercoats, and clear coats. Envirobase HP system wall charts and VOC charts provide specific guidance on compatibility and regulatory limits. Since Envirobase HP is a non-stir system, no longer do you need the traditional mixing machines. Instead, all that is required is a convenient storage cabinet. Not only will you enjoy the benefits of noise and electrical reduction, but the consistency of these suspended toners provides a more accurate color match than toners requiring a 15-minute stir. Before you start using Envirobase HP, it is important to make sure you have all of the necessary equipment to complete the application process. A dedicated waterborne spray gun is recommended before transitioning to waterborne base coats. Internal components must be either stainless or plastic to prevent corrosion. Many gun manufacturers have made modifications to improve the application of waterborne products. Some of the more popular brands are shown on this chart. Large, high-throughput shops may also want to consider installing an air drying system in the spray booth to create higher volume airflow that will accelerate the evaporation process and optimize base coat flash and cure times. Many suppliers offer suitable equipment solutions to aid with increasing the feet per minute of air passing over the repair areas. Handheld blowers and floor stands offer a simple and effective drying solution for many shops. They use about the same amount of air as a spray gun and can be positioned close to the panel. Work with your PPG distributor and local equipment vendors to identify the best choice to meet your shop production needs. Be sure to check your local district's air permit requirements before planning to install this type of equipment. While Envirobase HP is generally considered safer than solvent-borne base coats, No paint is safe unless precautionary measures are used throughout the refinish process. Before using any new product, you should read the material safety data sheet and product information sheet to familiarize yourself with any potential product-related hazards. Personal protective equipment should always be used, including gloves, eye protection, spray suit, and a NIOSH-approved air purifying respirator or a positive pressure air-supplied respirator. Even when mixing, thinning, or flocculating the product, protective equipment should be used to minimize eye, skin, and inhalation exposure. Eye watering, headaches, nausea, dizziness, and even loss of coordination are signs of possible overexposure. Safety precautions should continue even after the painting process has been completed. Your protective gear should also be worn when disposing of unused paint, storing the product, and cleaning the equipment. You should always be familiar with where your company keeps the first aid supplies and safety equipment should an incident arise. Now that you have everything you need to get started, it's time to find the best color match for your application. The new Envirobase HP waterborne variant color system is the ideal tool for selecting the right color every time. Its innovative design provides quick access to color fans and has an integrated index book. Each chip in the Envirobase HP waterborne variant deck has been sprayed with actual Envirobase HP waterborne base coat to provide you the best match possible. Use the color chips to select the base match for your repair. Use the new waterborne spray-out cards to verify if you have the right match with the same spray equipment you will use on the repair. And always remember to properly apply a control coat. Once you have accurately matched the color, you are ready to mix. An important note to remember is that you must mix and store in plastic containers. Never use a metal can. Due to the viscosity of waterborne toners, we recommend lightly squeezing the bottle while pouring to help maintain a smooth, uniform, controlled pour. You must always use a nylon 125 micron waterborne strainer before use, not the larger mesh 190 micron strainer. Be sure you use a strainer designed for waterborne paint. The typical strainers used for solvent paint are made with a water-based glue, which will dissolve if used with waterborne paint. The mix ratios for Envirobase HP base coats are dependent on the type of finish. A solid color base coat requires a different mix ratio than a pearl or metallic, and a tinted mid-coat tri-stage has its own mix ratio as well. Solid colors are thinned 10:1, 10 parts color to 1 part T494 thinner, or 10% by volume. Metallic and pearl base coats mix ratio is 10:2, 10 parts color to 2 parts T494 thinner, or 20% by volume. The mix ratio for a tinted mid-coat in a 3-stage repair is 10:3, 10 parts color to 3 parts T494 thinner, or 30%. All of these ratios are based on a sprayable viscosity of 23 to 28 seconds in a DIN 4 cup. You must always thin Envirobase HP base coat with T494 thinner, never with tap, bottled, or distilled water. The T494 thinner is specially formulated. It's pH neutral, deionized, demineralized, and includes antibacterial agents. The use of any thinner other than T494 thinner can lead to a variety of performance issues. Refer to the Envirobase HP base coat product data sheet for more detailed information. Once you've properly thinned your color, just give it a stir and go. Do not mechanically agitate or shake Envirobase HP toners or mixed base coat. This will cause foaming and the entrapment of air bubbles, which will take an extremely long time to dissipate and settle back into a usable consistency. Panel preparation is a very important step in the refinish process which should never be compromised. The two commonly used methods of preparation are either dry or wet for either blend or complete panel repair. This video presentation will cover both of these methods. Dry preparation method for complete or blend panels. Clean entire area with soap and water. Use a wax and grease remover like SXA 330 wax and grease remover to clean the entire repair area. When dry machine sanding complete panels that have been spot or completely primed, or are a factory finish and going to be sealed, use 400 grit sandpaper. If the panel is not going to be sealed prior to top coating, use 600 grit sandpaper. When dry machine sanding blend panels, use 800 to 1000 grit sandpaper. After machine sanding, use a light gray or gold scuff pad and go over all edges and any areas that may have been missed during the sanding process to ensure that the entire repair area is completely deglossed. Final clean the entire repair area with waterborne pre-cleaner. Here is a list of the steps for review. Clean with soap and water. Clean repair area with SXA 330 wax and grease remover. Use 400 grit sandpaper on complete panels that have been primed or are factory finish and will be sealed. Use 600 grit if the panel is not going to be sealed. Use 800 to 1000 grit for blend panels. Use a light gray or gold scuff pad to ensure the repair area is completely deglossed. Final clean with waterborne pre-cleaner. Wet preparation method for complete or blend panels. Clean entire area with soap and water. Use SXA 330 wax and grease remover to clean the entire repair area. Using sanding paste with water and a light gray or gold scuff pad, thoroughly degloss the entire repair panel. Rinse with clean water to completely remove any sanding paste residue and then wipe dry. Final clean the entire repair panel with waterborne pre-cleaner. Here is a list of the steps for review. Clean with soap and water. Clean repair area with SXA 330 wax and grease remover. Use sanding paste and a light gray or gold scuff pad to degloss the repair panel. Rinse with clean water and wipe dry. Final clean with waterborne pre-cleaner. Dry preparation for E-coat replacement parts. Use SXA 330 wax and grease remover to clean the entire part. Dry machine sand the entire part using 400 grit sandpaper. Using a gray scuff pad, go over all edges and any areas that may have been missed to be sure that the repair area is completely deglossed. Final clean the repair area with SXA 330 wax and grease remover and tack off. Apply sealer. Wait for the sealer to properly flash, then tack off and apply base coat. Here is a list of the steps for review. Clean repair area with SXA 330 wax and grease remover. Use 400 grit to dry machine sand the entire part. Use a gray scuff pad to ensure repair area is completely deglossed. Final clean with SXA 330 wax and grease remover and tack off. Apply sealer. The Envirobase HP application procedures are very similar to solvent-borne base coats with some minor differences. Fill the spray gun and set the pressure at the gun manufacturer's recommended pressure. Check the gun setup chart for recommendations for your spray gun. Apply medium light coats of color from a distance of 6 to 8 inches from the surface with a 75% overlap until opacity is achieved. Allow each coat to flash off until a uniform dry matte finish appears before applying the next coat. Use either handheld drying equipment or your booth's air dry system to help decrease the flash time. The only application difference is the use of the control coat for metallics, pearls, and special effect colors. The control coat is a necessary step in the application to achieve proper color alignment to the factory finish. The control coat provides consistency of color match and alignment with PPG formulation practices. Without the control coat, you may not get the proper alignment to OEM, and the color may appear darker with less metallic or pearl effect. However, a control coat is not needed for solid colors. When applying the control coat, the gun pressure, distance, and speed are different from your standard application. Decrease the pressure and increase the distance from the surface to 10 to 12 inches with light coverage. Apply the control coat with an 80 to 90% overlap. Refer to the gun setup chart for specific PSI recommendations to use for control coats for your spray gun. Allow to flash off to a uniform matte appearance. Because the control coat is very light, Mechanically drying is not necessary. Allow to fully flash off before applying the clear coat. If necessary, use a tack rag, part number SX1070, on the whole area carefully before clear coat is applied. Where infrared is to be used on the clear coat layer, it is important to also use infrared on the base coat color before clearing. This will ensure that all of the water has been completely removed. Dry the base coat for 3 minutes at flash off with infrared setting at 3 to 4 feet. Envirobase HP base coat has excellent blending properties for the vast majority of colors when using the correct technique. However, some painters may prefer using T490 tinted clear additive to assist with blending. There are 2 methods available for using the T490 tinted clear additive to blend. To use as a fade out, thin T490 with 25% T494 thinner. Add the thin T490 to your ready-to-spray color 1:1 and use to fade out the repair edge. You may also use the T490 tinted clear additive as a wet bed for blending. Your mix ratio remains the same, 4 parts T490 tinted clear additive with 1 part T494 thinner. Apply only 1 medium light coat over the blend area. This will appear milky blue when wet, but will dry translucent. Once dry, proceed with the blend. Any areas that have clear adjuster and/or base coat color applied must be clear coated. It is required that a gun cleaner be dedicated for waterborne products. Some gun cleaners integrate the use of products like T499 flocculating powder, which reduces waste and improves management of the cleaning process. Regardless of what system you choose, it is important to consider how to incorporate your waterborne waste into your current disposal process. Check with your current waste handler for more information. To demonstrate this process, we will be using the Dresster Aqua Cleaner. The waterborne base coat disposal processing steps are: empty any remaining waterborne base coat into an approved waste drum dedicated for waterborne products only. Do not mix waterborne waste with solvent waste. Rinse the spray gun with waterborne cleaner dispensed from the wand attached to the gun washing unit. The outside of the gun can be cleaned with the attached brush. Blow off the gun with compressed air and dry off with a towel. Rinse out the gun with a small amount of solvent before storage. Be sure to blow clean, dry air through the gun before the next use. When the tank of the gun cleaning unit becomes full, add the proper amount of flocculating powder to the waterborne waste and turn on the agitating propeller. Remove the strainer basket from the lower unit and place a liner and filter into it. Replace the strainer, liner, and filter back under the unit and place the pumping wand into the container. Allow the agitation to continue until the pigment begins to separate from the waterborne gun cleaner. Once you can see the paint separating from the waterborne gun cleaner, release the valve to drain the mixture through the filter and into the lower reservoir. It'll take a few minutes for all of the filtered cleaner to adequately drain back into the lower reservoir. The solid sludge collected from the separation process should be disposed of in accordance with local regulations. However, you will be able to reuse the gun wash up to 10 times without replacing it. After the 10 uses, the filtrate produced from the waste separation process should also be disposed of per your local regulations for waterborne waste. Now that you have reviewed this training presentation, let's review some important tips when using the Envirobase HP waterborne base coat system. Mix room temperatures cannot drop below 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 degrees Celsius. Mix and store in plastic containers. Never use a metal can when mixing. Squeeze bottle gently for adding small amounts of tinter to a mix. Do not put toners or mixes on a shaker or agitator. Use the correct waterborne 125 micron mesh nylon strainers. Use the waterborne spray-out cards. When using spray-out cards, it's important to use the same spray equipment you will use on the repair and to properly apply a control coat. Use SX1070 tack rags. Use a dedicated waterborne spray gun. Before using, make sure the gun is completely clean and dry by blowing clean, dry air through it. This is especially important if solvent was used to clean the gun before storage. Use mechanical drying for the color coats. Mechanical drying of the control coat is not needed. When infrared is to be used on the clear coat layer, it is important to use infrared on the base coat color if you will be using infrared on the clear coat. Use a dedicated waterborne gun cleaner. Use an air filtration system to be sure you have clean air going to the booth and clean dry air going to the gun. Check that your compressor has enough horsepower to deliver sufficient CFM and pressure to support all of your equipment. Check the local laws for air and water restrictions. Now that you have finished the Envirobase high-performance training presentation, click on the documentation button to print relevant technical information. Continue to use this CD-ROM as a reference guide. PPG offers a variety of training options when converting to Envirobase high performance. Contact your paint distributor or PPG representative to review the different training options that are available in your area.